I'm Bobby Bradford. Me and my wife Karen own BoBrook Farms and River Bottom Winery.
I'm Karen Bradford. My husband and I own BoBrook Farms in Roland, Arkansas,
which is just west of Little Rock, about 5 miles north of Pinnacle Mountain State Park on Highway 300.
Our son's name is Bo. Our daughter is Brooke. They're 34 and 29. They live here on the farm as well with our 4 grandkids. And we're sitting here on 300 acres that we have diversified a lot.
We bought the farm about 30 years ago. Knew I wanted to farm early on in life, just had to figure out a way to get to that point. So me and my wife worked hard, saved our money, and ultimately bought the farm that we have today. We wanted a row crop. That was my desire when we first purchased the farm. Visited with my neighbor. He told me that we should probably talk to Farm Credit Services, and they were a huge help.
We were actually shocked and amazed at how easy it was that they believed in us. They have believed in us through some harebrained ideas. We have done so many different things. We have flipped houses. They would loan us money for that. Just anything to supplement the farm income when there wasn't anything coming in. If it wouldn't have been for them believing in us, because, a regular bank wouldn't loan us any money. We didn't have any farming experience. We didn't really own anything. But through the years, everything we got, just about, I always say it belongs to us and Farm Credit. We just call ourselves lucky, but we've learned a lot. It's been a fun road. We rented other land as well, and we've grown several different crops. We've had cows. He's had an excavation, dirt business and stuff. We tried everything because we didn't inherit it. We're trying to figure how we're going to pay it for it.
And so we started to diversify, doing different things on the farm, kind of got off into the agritourism end of it. We have a big pumpkin patch on the farm every fall in the month of October. Started doing pick your own stuff on the farm. We have an event center now on the farm, which used to be my farm headquarters. My son got married there 9 years ago. The girl that was helping my daughter-in-law do some of her wedding planning said, "Man, this is beautiful down here. Y'all should consider having weddings." And all my wife needs is a good idea, and I have another job, so.
About 10 years ago, my son got married here, and that's how we started the wedding business. Having too much fruit is how we started the winery business. One day I was working the blueberry patch, the pick your own, and there was 2 young boys out there picking blueberries like crazy, like 10 gallons. And I thought, these guys are so sweet. They're probably picking those for their grandma. And I said, "What are you guys gonna do with all these blueberries?" And they said, "We're gonna make some homemade wine." And I said, "How do you do that?" I was so intrigued, So they gave me their recipe. So I started out with a 2-liter bottle, and that was my first winemaking. Today, I think I have about 26 different wines. I make wine with anything I have extra of. I would say that my favorite wine is probably the muscadine. We just pick them and we crush them and we add sugar and yeast. We do it the old-fashioned way. And then with our traditional wines, we just bring in juice. We don't try to grow grapes here that won't grow in Arkansas. But we do make all the wine here and bottle it and label it here, and it's the only place you can get it.
People think of farming as you drive down the highway, you see combines and tractors working thousands of acres and growing big crops like that, but there's a lot of smaller aspects to farming as well. Farm Credit Services, they understand it.
It's just night and day. You can't go to a regular bank and say, "Hey, I need to borrow, $50,000 so I can plant this or plant that." They didn't want to help me build my barn, so whatever it is, they totally understand. They understand why you need it.
They invest in your farm with you, and they want to help you in any way they can to be successful. They want you to be successful.
And I've actually had my loan officer call me and say, "Hey, look, the rates just dropped. I can lower your loan 1.5%, and it's not going to cost you a dime." Who does that?
When you're doing business with Farm Credit Services, you're not just borrowing money from them. You're investing in their business as well. And due to your patronage, at the end of the year, you get a dividend check. If they make money, they share it.
They are so wonderful about being there when you need them. and not a bunch of red tape and paperwork to have to fill out. They've always been there to help us out, and they're our family.